The question we've been asked is, say there's a client by name Billy, and he has two matters, Billy versus Miller, which is a small claims matter, and he has another matter, which is a criminal matter. And we have money in trust for Billy in one, which is basically drivers under influence, and you want to move that money into another matter, which is basically Billy versus Miller, where you have no money in trust or some money in trust. How do you do that? Now, there are a couple of ways you can do that. Now, if you put a retainer into an account, you can always, first thing, you can try and edit and see if you can redistribute it. You can just say edit, you can do an unlock, and that $1,300 you should be able to say, I want 1,000 here and 300 here, and do a distribution like that, apply, and then now you'll see that it'll be redistributed. Now you'll see that the driving under influence became $300, and I actually change it to the other matter, that one is $1,000. So that's one way in which you can actually distribute amount. Now this is possible only if you have an invoiced after putting the retainer. Once you invoice, this item gets locked and you will not be able to change. So how do you change in that case where it's actually been locked? So let's now move, say, $700 from Billy versus Miller back into the other account. For that, you'll have to do two things. One, you have to remove this money. First of all, you need to send a letter of agreement to Billy, okay, saying that this is what you're doing. You're basically going to transfer 700, which is left in this matter, into this other matter. You need to get a letter of agreement from him. Once you have established that client process, you come to the software and then you can do a transfer. To do that transfer in uLaw, you will click on action, and then you will do refund retainer, and you will say, I'm going to refund, say, $700 from this, and you'll mark it as a cash, but you will say transfer to criminal matter, right? And you can put it in one of the cash accounts. It's like a temporary account. Like, let's say you're moving it to cash, and you will say refund, and then you'll immediately go into the other matter, and right there you will say new retainer, and you'll say 700, mark it as cash, right? And you will move it. So now what you will see now is Billy. So if you go back to this matter, you now only have $300, right? While if you go to the other matter, you now have the original 300 that you had and the 700. So the total, adds up to the 1,300 that you still have. Now, if you look at this in terms of ledgers for Billy, you should see that. You'll say document generation, ledger, trust, all transactions for Billy. And if you do a download, you'll clearly see how the money actually came. You'll see that $1,300 was the initial amount that was given, how that was distributed, and the transfer that you did from one matter to another. So you can notice here that the first check, 786, is there in both matters, 1,000 here and a 300 here, adding up to the 1,300. And then the refund that you made after negotiating with Billy, the 700, and then moving it here on this date. So to summarize, the easiest way for you to transfer between matter is, if you haven't invoiced yet, you can click on the edit item and you can redistribute it in whatever fashion you want. If you've actually invoiced it, what you need to do is you need to refund the retainer in one matter and then put it into another matter as a payment deposit in trust.